Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing how we can use universal function to round off decimals, perform logarithmic operations and do summations. So without wasting further time, let's get to the video. So there are primarily 5 ways of rounding off decimals in numerical Python, and those are truncation, fix, rounding, float and seal. So these are different methods. So without wasting time, let's discuss the truncation method first. So the truncation method basically means TRUNC, trunk, and opening and closing bracket. So this is the truncation or the trunk method. So how we can use it? First, for using it, we will have to import NumPy. So import NumPy as NP. Okay, and then I'm declaring an array, or I'm assigning values. So array is equal to, and we will be writing it inside the trunk function itself. So np dot trunk. We can also do it in a way, we can first write the array and then we can use the trunk function, but I'm combining both these statements together. So array is equal to np dot trunk, and inside I'm writing, inside the square brackets I can write any number, for example 6 point all this, and then 8 point. Okay, so I'm writing these numbers. Now print this array. Okay, so if I press shift and enter to execute, we can see that only the this number has been rounded off, and only the number or only the integer which is in front of the decimal, that is being shown, and all the numbers which is after the decimal point, that is being omitted. So this is what happens in the trunk function. Okay, now moving on, we can also use the fix function. So let's say that I want to use the fix function. So I'm writing array is equal to np.fix, and inside I'm writing some numbers, 6 point, okay, and this time 2 point. Okay, so I'll be printing this. So print shift and enter. So as you can see that only the number in front of the decimal point is being displayed and the number after the decimal point is being completely omitted. So this is the use of the trunk function and the fix function. Okay, now coming to the rounding off. Okay, so let me add comment lines over here. So over here we used the trunk function. All right, and over here we used the fix function. Okay, so coming on, now we are going to use the around function. Okay, okay, so for using the around function, let me write array is equal to np dot around, and inside I am going to write any number, let's say 3.1666 comma 2. So what does the around function does? So around function basically rounds off up to 2 decimal places. Okay, so if I print this, print, and inside I'm writing ARR, shift and enter to execute. So I can see that this number, after all these numbers after the decimal point, it is being rounded off to 2 decimal places. So 3.17 is being displayed as the answer. Okay, moving on, now we have a function known as the float function. We will also be discussing about the ceiling function or the seal function. So we are discussing about the float function. So let's write it. Okay. So for writing the float function, I'm writing array is equal to np.float. Array is equal to np.float, and inside let me just write any numbers. Okay, comma. Okay, print, shift and enter. So as you can see that the floor function basically rounds off decimal to the nearest lowest integer. Okay, the floor function rounds off decimal to the nearest lowest integer. So if 6.777 this is the number, so it will display only 6. If 8.727 it will display only 8. Okay, but now we will talk about the ceiling function or the CEIL function. Okay. So what does the ceiling function does? Array is equal to np dot ceil. Okay. Let's print, shift and enter. Okay. 1 second. Okay, I have to write this inside square brackets. All right. Yes. So this is what the ceiling function does. The ceiling function rounds off decimal to the nearest upper integer. Okay. The ceiling function rounds off decimal to the nearest upper integer. So 6.7777. So it rounds off to the nearest upper integer and we get 7. 8.555 it rounds off to the nearest upper integer and we get 9. Okay, all right. Now let us move to the logarithmic functions. So let's say that I want to find log at base 2 of all the elements of a given array. Okay, so what should I do? I will have to write array is equal to np dot arrange, ARANGE arrange, and inside I'll write 1 comma 10, let's say 1 comma 10, and in the next line I'll write the print statement. So print np dot log2. Okay, shift and enter. Yes. So what is happening? The arrange function returns an array with integers starting from 1 is included, to 10 which is not included. Okay, and then I am printing this np dot log array. Okay, log2 basically means that log at base 2 of all the elements in the array. Okay, all right. Similarly, we can do it for log at base 10. So let's say array is equal to np dot arrange one comma 10, and in the next line I'll be writing print np dot log and ARR, shift and enter. So similarly we have found out the log for all the numbers in the array, log at base 10. Okay, since we are okay, we will have to write 10 over here, shift and enter. So now we have found out log at base 10. Okay, so what is happening? This the first line of the code, np.arrange. np.arrange function returns an array with integers starting from 1 and ending at 10. 1 is included and 10 is not included. And this is my array. Now what is this print statement and the log statement doing? I have combined both the print statement and the log statement. I could have done it separately also. So it is basically giving me log at base 10 of all the numbers in the array. Okay, clear? All right, moving on. Now we go to the natural log or log at base e. Natural log or log at base e. So for using natural log, we can write. So I am taking I'm writing the array once again. It is not necessary to always write array is equal to np.arrange. So the code looks clean. That is why I'm writing it again. So array is equal to np.arrange. And since we are writing the natural log or log to the base e, so we will not write log 2 or log 10. We will just write np.log. Okay, and inside arr. Okay, so shift and enter. Okay, so there is some syntax error. Let's check what it is. Okay, so one closing bracket is missing. Now shift and enter again, and we successfully printed all the log elements, log at base e or natural log of all the elements inside my array, inside the array. Okay, all right. Now we move on to log at any base. So NumPy does not provide any function to take log at any base. So we can use the from function along with the inbuilt function math.log with two input parameters and one output parameters. Okay, so let's first import. Let me add more cells over here. Okay, so let's first import from math import log. Okay, so from math I'm importing the log module, and I've already imported numpy as np, so no need of importing it again in the same program. And next I will write np log is equal to np dot from py function, and inside I'll be writing log comma 2 comma 1. Okay, and in the next line I'll be writing the print statement. So print np dot log, and inside the bracket I'll be writing 100 comma 15. Shift and enter. There is some error. Let's see what the error is. So there will be no dot. Np log, shift and enter again, and we have successfully printed log at any base. Okay, so for printing log at any base we will have to use the from py function. Okay, so we will have to use the from py function along with the inbuilt math.log. There will be two input parameters and one output parameters. Okay, moving on. Now we will be discussing about summations. Okay, so enough about logs. Now we'll be discussing about summations. So let us write summations over here. Okay. All right. So what is the difference between a summation and addition? When we say that summation, we think that summation means summing up. It basically means addition. But no, there is some difference between summation and addition. Addition is done between two arguments, whereas summation happens over n number of elements. Okay, over n number of elements. So suppose that I want to add values in array 1 to the values in array 2. Okay, so I will simply use the np.add function. Okay, np.add universal function which we have, I will simply use it. I have already discussed about it in the video. So in the video about simple arithmetic using universal functions, if you check it in the playlist, you will find that video. So we've already discussed about that. But now we will be using np.sum. Okay, so let's say that I have two arrays, array 1 and array 2. arr1 is equal to np.array let's say that I'm taking 1 2 3. Okay, and in the second array also arr2 let's say I'm taking 1, 2, 3 again. I can take any number, but I'm just taking 1, 2, 3 for convenience. Okay, so if I want to use the sum function, then I will write new array. It is just a name which I'm giving, new array. The short form is new r, okay, is equal to np dot sum, and inside I'll be writing arr, or the array 1 comma array 2, okay, printing new array. All right, so we are getting 12, okay, we are getting 12. So what is happening? It is basically summing this array, top array first, so the sum is 6, and then it is summing the bottom array, so the sum is 6, and then it is adding, so we are getting 12. So instead of 6, if I write, instead of 3, if I write 5 over here and shift and enter, so we get 14, okay. Instead of if I write 5 over here also, shift and enter, so we get 16, okay. If we write 2, okay, if we write 20 over here, shift and enter, we get 34. All right, so all the numbers are changing. So basically what is happening, it is first adding the elements inside the first array, and then it is adding the elements inside the second array, and then it is adding both the elements together, okay. So similarly the number goes on increasing, okay. All right, moving on. Now I want to sum the values in array 1 and the values in array 2. So okay, I just did that. I summed the value in array 1 and array 2. Alright, summation over an axis. Okay, summation over an axis. Now I am going to sum over an axis. So I'll tell you what summation over an axis means. So first let me write the lines of code. So I've already written my two arrays, array 1 and array 2. So let me just copy paste it over here. Okay. And let's take the value 165 in the second array also. So 165. So this is basically, I have taken two arrays, array 1 and array 2. Alright, and now new array is equal to np.sum, and inside array 1 comma array 2, after writing array 2, I'll put a comma and I'll write axis is equal to 1. Okay, axis is equal to 1, and I'll print this new array. Okay, 1 second. Alright, now I'll print this new array. Shift and enter. So what is basically happening? What is basically happening? We are getting 39. Okay. We have done some mistake. I have missed the spelling over here. Okay. This is what the expected result is, 12, 12. So what is happening when I am writing axis is equal to 1? What is happening? It is performing summation in the array, okay, over the axis. So it is adding the first array 6 plus 5 plus 1, and it is giving me 12. Then it is adding the second array 5 plus 6 plus 1, and then it is giving me 12 again. So it is adding the elements individually inside both of the arrays, and then making the array, making a third array, and the elements in the third array is the summation of the elements in the first array and the summation of the elements in the second array. So this is what we can do by using the axis method. Okay. Alright. So I'll meet you again in the next video, and in the next video we will be discussing some more universal functions.